Hey guys, we are back on the camper today. We're going to be working on the AC unit that's going to be on top of the camper. We're replacing the old one with a new Dometic unit. I got some help today, so we'll see what we can get done. Actually, didn't film, you can probably tell up there. I have the new unit already on the roof, and actually just kind of a last minute thing. I was helping my father-in-law get his boat put in the barn, try to move some things around to get that in there, and so to repay that favor, he helped me get that AC unit on top of the camper. So didn't really get to film it because it was just kind of a last minute thing. So I want to show you some of the old AC unit and what it took to install that, what it looks like, and then what it took to remove it, and then show you how I'm going to be installing the new one. Haven't done this before, so let's get started and we'll learn as we go. All right, so here's the old unit right here. It looks like it's seen better days, you know. So this was really made up of 3 parts, and how we were able to get it apart was I guess four parts being the part that's underneath all the controls. So we took that off. It was just already basically loose, so really nothing there. I was just able to loosen a couple of bolts and it came off. We had the shroud that was around it, and luckily this thing, those wasp nests were empty when we lifted it off. That would have been quite an awakening if those were still alive. But the shroud was on there, and it was just screwed in around the edges with these screws. Lifted the shroud off, and then you were left with this. This is the main unit, and it really wasn't secured to anything except for that bolted piece from the inside. So that was what was kind of holding it down. And so really just we're able to lift that off. It's about, I don't know, how much do you think it weighs? 60 pounds, something like that. Pretty heavy. See if you can lift it. Oh, you can lift it. Okay, so maybe not too bad, but it's kind of bulky, so we were able to take that off, and then it actually had this panel underneath it, and this was screwed in around the edges with roofing screws, and it had butyl tape on the underside. So unscrewed all this all the way around, lifted it off, scraped off the tape, and then it was really ready for the new one. So the new AC unit does not have this kind of I don't know, adapter plate, whatever you want to call it. So the new one just went straight up there. It had a foam seal on the bottom, and so we'll show you what that looks like. So going up here, this is a nice ladder. This is that little giant ladder system that I have. You can really go up both sides, and that was, I mean, critical on getting this up here. So I was able to lift it up, get it up on one side and hold it, and then my father-in-law was able to go up the other side of the ladder, and we were able to get it up to the top here. So this is it, just sitting on here. I haven't really screwed it down or anything, just the weight of it is sitting down here. So again, put some boards up here to spread the load of us on top of the ceiling here, on top of the roof. And also the roof is really hot, so we just put these boards down to keep us from touching the roof so much. But slid it up here, and we'll go on the inside. So right now it's just resting up here, nothing else on it. Except for you. So let's go inside and I'll show you what we got going on for right now. We're here on the inside. So here's the original, I don't know what you call this thing, the control piece. That's where the electricity comes in. This is what was mounted on the inside to store it there. And then this is the new one, very similar. So we got it here. And then up here is where the new one is. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this is the foam seal that's just resting on top of, this is the actual roof right here. Then we have this plywood ceiling part that was already here, the tin roof, and then this 1-inch seal that goes all the way around. The hole that was already here was nice, and it was the same dimension as what we needed. It was 14.5 inches, and that's exactly what we need for the new this new AC unit. So that was a nice surprise. One thing though I'm going to look at getting is this. I think that whoever built this before, it was not from the manufacturer. This part of the roof, they had redone it, and it's a little low, and I think I'm going to raise it up by putting some shim underneath here, and that'll raise it up a little bit. It just seems like a little bit of a bubble in the tin, so I'm going to raise it up, make more of an archway and for this thing. And so we're going to start doing that next, and then I don't know, I'll figure out what to do. I have to read some of the directions. I know a lot of these bolt holes here are where it's going to be kind of holding it down to cinch it down from the inside. So let's kind of take a break here. I'm going to read some of the directions and then put some shims in here and bring you back for the next step of this installation. All right, I'm not sure if you can see this, but the way this was cut out, and I'm not sure if this was from the manufacturer or not, but this is a like kind of a larger hole that has this sheet of plywood in the middle, and what it's creating is this actually at this 14.5-inch hole, there's no support here for this bottom plate to kind of bolt into. So right now I'm gonna have to build out a kind of studs that go all the way around so this bottom plate can secure up to the bottom of it, and that's what cinches down the AC unit to this. So really this is what's going to hold it down, and I'm going to have to build out a square. So right now I cut some spare 2x4s that I have, so I'm going to go ahead and get some of this screwed in, and I'll bring you in when we go to the next step. But right now I've got to build this box to support this panel. Okay, well, I've learned a bit of a lesson here. I wired this circuit up before I kind of knew what was going on with the air conditioning unit, and I didn't realize that the wiring needed to be in the front of the unit, like all the way in the front. So not even and have a good bit of slack with that. So I had it wired, had enough wire to barely get it to the front, but it couldn't kind of hug the corners of the studs and things like that. So I had to cut it and just rerun it, and then I'm gonna have to run another wire from here to the actual breaker panel, and then I'll be able to run this thing. But I do have all of this studded out here, all of the connections made between this new stud box here and the actual studs that are kind of load bearing. So I think this is going to be good for now. I got this all hooked up. So now the next step in reading the directions, it's going to be putting this divider in here that's comes with it. It's like a foam divider that kind of separates the intake from the output. So I'm going to be putting that in here, and then bolting up this bottom plate. So we're going to do that next, and I don't know, see how that goes. Okay, so right in there is where the hole is into the AC unit up top itself, and these screws, kind of screw up from the bottom into it. This is the electrical cord that's coming, to supply the power, and it's going to go in this hole here, which comes out through here and will connect to the wires supplied. It has, well, my watch just gets caught, but up there, oh, here we go, is the electrical cable that's going to connect the AC unit to the unit, the control box and the power supply itself. So you have 4 of these screws around the unit itself, and I'm going to just screw those in all the way and tighten this down. You also have to watch out for this baffle right here that we put in, and it goes into this channel yeah, I can't really see any of that, but this baffle piece slides into this channel right here. So you're just gonna have to align that when you start cranking down on these bolts. So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of button this up and then see what we got next. All right, guys, so we got the sealing template installed. I've got the bolts cranked down, and that was able to cinch down on the seal right here at the top. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's like a 1-inch foam seal that cinches down onto the ceiling roof structure itself. So this isn't going anywhere. It cinches against all this structure that I had to build, and so those bolts are in there. Actually installed, it had one of these, I actually don't know what these are called, these wire supports that keep the Romex from kind of scraping the edge of the electrical box there. Plugged in the wire from the AC unit. So now I'm pretty much done. I have to run another wire from here to the electrical panel. I had to cut this when you see that cut piece there. I didn't leave a long enough piece, so I'm just going to run another one from here, kind of through the studs and make its way over to the panel, rewire that. So that's going to be another day. But down here is the actual, you know, kind of control box unit. So this has got, this is all the stuff you'll see when you go, you know, when it's up and running. But the way this installs, it has 2 holes here inside this return area, and that has some sheet metal screws that they supply. There's a box of screws here, and those sheet metal screws go into these. There's these little holes here in the corners that they started for you, and that sheet metal screw is going to go up in there. Mine is actually going to go up into the wood a little bit on this side. Also, they give you a bunch of wood screws. So these wood screws are going to be screwed into where the vents are in here. So you're going to take the vent covers off, and you're going to screw up into the wood ceiling all around this. However, I can't do that yet. I don't have a ceiling, so I'm going to go ahead and, you know, finish all this off, put the insulation in, and then when I put my ceiling on, then I will be able to have something for this to screw to. So this panel is going to be somewhere in this area, and you know, it kind of overhangs, so there's nothing for it to screw to. And I think it'll be obviously look nicer with the ceiling on, and then you put this unit up underneath. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. So I appreciate you guys sticking around for this episode on Project 9 Oaks. If you would subscribe to my channel, there'll be more of these coming up as I get working on this camper. Kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel now, and we're getting excited. So appreciate you all sticking around for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.